we see Crawford Brown and is leading. We're currently looking at battle between Mad Owl and Rick Binnersley for 7th place here. Owl is just 2.4 tenths ahead of Rick at the moment, and they've got RWB Rigel right in front of them. Good evening, everyone. Sorry for the slight delay in joining in the RWB International Christmas get-together. So when you live in a small village in Somerset, it is tradition for everyone to head down the pub, and tonight was no different as we currently go on board with Mad Owl in 6th place, coming through Copse Corner in 4th gear. Coming up towards Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel now. Just a quick downshift before the first right-hander in that complex. Good line through there from Owl. And we currently see Mad Owl leading this battle, featuring Rick Binnersley and RWB Rigel. It's currently Crawford Brown leading from Eddie Warden. Then Kai Banks in 3rd place. Then we have RWB Crotzolia in 4th, then Nate Newcomer, then this battle for 6th place. In 9th place, it's Pinners, RWB Pinpoint. And Marco Badowski rounding out the top 10 at the moment. Florentine is in 11th place from Mayor, Hodgson in 12th, Cos in 14th, so Hodgson is in 13th, excuse me, Mayor is in 12th, Cos 14th, Charger 15th, and Butler rounding out the field in 16th place, as Panda has also decided to join us in this Christmas special evening. Mate, how are we?
I'm doing very good, thanks. Now, I would want to co-compensate with you, but unfortunately I do have some things to do. I did want to try and say, Rob, Merry Christmas, everyone, Merry Christmas. Have a blessed year. Well, I assume for some people it's of course New Year. If it is for you, have a blessed New Year. Yeah, I just want to hop in, say that. Everyone's still racing, everyone's still alive, Rob?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've only just got on myself, actually, to be honest. Yeah, but no, Panda, the same back at you, mate. Hope you have a happy, healthy, and prosperous New Year, and a very, very Merry Christmas, mate.
Oh, you too, man. You too, man. You're way too good at this, aren't you? You're way too good at this. Everyone.
I mean, I wish I could say that, but I was actually scripting my outro earlier this evening in the village pub. As is Christmas tradition for half the village to descend on the pub at the same evening. So there we go.
No, seriously, everyone. Everyone have a blessed, Merry Christmas. Stay safe, please. Wear your masks, whatever you have to do. Stay safe, stay healthy, and yeah. Oh yeah, and Rob, I'm still waiting for you to deliver my gift to my front door.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, wait for that. No, thank you so much, everyone. Rob, enjoy the commentary. I'll be listening. And yeah, talk to you guys later.
Cheers, Panda. Have a good one, mate. As we're currently still looking at this battle between 6th, 7th, and 8th. Mad Owl, Rick Binnersley and RWB Rigel as they come through the arena section now. Binnersley looking as close as he has been, to be fair, to the back of Mad Owl's car. Everybody, I should stress, is running the brand new BMW M4 GT3 in what is a little bit of a taste of things to come, one could say, given that the M4 is making its full-on professional competition debut as a homologated car next month at the Dubai 24 Hours. Currently looking at Corzolia versus Banks at the moment. This also versus Newcomer, excuse me. This is battle for 4th place. Nate Newcomer, our resident stream host as well, currently chasing down his fellow competitor. And now we're back with the battle between Mad Al, Rick Binnersley and RWB Rigel, as it's looking very close indeed up ahead of them between Kotsolia and Newcomer. We'll have to wait and see what the gap is, but they were very, very close indeed. 0.099 between them through the first timing split there on the Hangar Straight. We're going to have to wait until they get to the end of Sector 2 before we get a more accurate depiction of that battle, as we currently go on board and focus on Rick Binnersley in 7th place in the 888 BMW M4 GT3 with just under 5 minutes of the second race here tonight to go. In fact, just looking at the battle up ahead of them between Kotsolia and Newcomer, Newcomer has dropped back a little bit there. Gap now back to 1/4 of a second in favour of Kotsolia. This battle still rages on here as they come through into Luffield now. A long, almost never-ending right-hander Luffield into the flat-out kink at Woodcote. Luffield is one of those corners where you can just feel the car understeering like crazy. Such a long corner coming through out of Cops now in towards Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. Coming through there now. Rick, I think maybe, just maybe closing the gap slightly. We'll see who gets the better run out of Chapel. Certainly Al and Rick have pulled a little bit, I may say, on RWB Rigel. Heading through Stono now, looking at Rudolph Mare. Oh, I'm sorry if I've mispronounced your surname there. In the 451 car now, back with this battle between Mad Al and Rick Binnersley for 6th place overall. Currently focusing on Mad Al's car number 4, Binnersley in the 888 just behind him. Putting a little bit of a gap there to RWB Rigel in 8th place. And just behind them, RWB Pinpoint is only 1.2 seconds ahead of Marco Badowski. Marco, very, very quick indeed, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on in the last 2 and a bit minutes here at Silverstone. Should be 2 more laps to go. Crawford heading into Copse Corner now. In the Blancpain Endurance Series, as it was back in the day, now the GT World Challenge Europe Endurance components. The start-finish straight and indeed the timing line at Silverstone has always been on the traditional pit straight between Woodcote and Copse Corner, which is something one has to bear in mind. In fact, when the European Le Mans Series was racing at Silverstone, the start-finish straight was on the F1 pits, but the actual pits themselves were the old pits between Woodcote and Copse, making it almost Anderstorp-esque in Sweden for those who weren't watching F1 in the 1970s. The start-finish line at Anderstorp was on about half a lap away from the pits. We're currently looking at Nate Newcomer now in the number 97 BMW M4 GT3. Must say, Santa has been rather generous indeed this year. So now looking at RWB Cos now in the number 1 entry. He's got RWB Charger right with him for company. Now looking back at Mad Al and his battle with Rick Binnersley. Mad Al putting in the kind of defensive performance I think most England fans would have wanted at the European Championship finals this year against Italy. I will say no more. Coming up towards, at the end of the Wellington straight, into the last few corners now, heading into Luffield. There's going to be, looking at where Crawford is on the track map, there will be another lap for Al and Rick, as Crawford is coming up towards Chapel now. I can see on our Dancing Ants screen. I should add, Dancing Ants screen is actually a technical term in industry, believe it or not, but here we are in 2021. Still looking at this as this battle rages on. They've pulled away quite a bit from RWB Rigel. I don't know whether Rigel's tyres are starting to go off somewhat. Marco is 4 and a bit seconds ahead of Pinners at the moment, so remains to be seen. The gap between Marco's currently 3.4 behind Rigel. I know Marco is an absolutely fantastic driver. Whether he can pull in 3.4 seconds in 2/3 of a lap of Silverstone remains to be seen. Rick as close as he has been to the back of Mad Al. Quick update on the leader. He's on the Wellington straight at the moment is Crawford. Crawford, who this time last week was running that absolutely god-awful Taylor Swift livery during the Battle of the Bands. You can tell I am into my heavy metal. As Nate Newcomer has passed Kotzolia, I've noticed, for 4th place, and Crawford Brown has already crossed the finish line to take the win in the second race here at Silverstone. Eddie Warden is in 2nd place ahead of Kai Banks. Nate Newcomer is expected to come home in 4th place. This battle still rages on. Is Al going to be able to hold on? There's Nate, there's Kotzolia. And Mad Al, just about by 0.2 of a second, just under 0.2 of a second, holds on for 6th place ahead of Rick Binnersley. RWB Rigel is in 8th place. Pinners is in 9th place, and Florentin is going to come home in 10th. He's got enough of a gap to Hodgson, and Florentin has indeed come home in 10th place. Matt Hodgson, RWB Lumpy Hamster, is going to come home in 11th place here at Silverstone, ahead of Murray. Now looking at RWB Charger, who has passed cars and is right with Murray as they come through Woodcote. Murray's just about going to hold on, but only by just over half a second from RWB Charger. Another couple of laps, another 5 more minutes onto the race, and Charger might well have had him there. Marco Badowski is going to be in 15th place. Unfortunately, I think Marco might have had some technical issues on his end, and Josh Butler is going to come home in 15th place, excuse me. So Jay Butler, rather, excuse me, and everyone has crossed the line to complete the race here at Silverstone. I thought this was the second race. However, the graphics are showing that it was race 1. So it remains to be seen if we have a second race here. So we're currently looking at Pinners in his lovely number 46 BMW M4 GT3. See the rear vents there just in front of the wheels. Presumably is for as a means of brake cooling, and maybe even a couple of other little ducts to funnel air through to various other parts of the car. For example, the transmission might well, in fact, probably will be at the rear of the car. So no doubt that would play a part on that. Although it's worth noting that the M4 GT3 actually, in a way, like the M8 GTE, has a little duct just below where the rear windshield would be in order to funnel air through. Meanwhile, RWB Nate Newcomer has joined us. Evening,
Hey,
mate.
how's it going?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Oh, not too bad.
Yep. We've got the RWB International Constructors Championship making a return on the 4th of January, where everyone will be moving from GT4 cars into the full fat GT3 machines for the second leg of the championship. And that will be on the 4th of January at the usual time. And on behalf of everyone at RWB International, just want to wish everyone following the stream, everyone taking part, everyone who's watching this, a very Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy, and prosperous New Year. For those who celebrate it, if you don't celebrate Christmas, then I hope you have a very happy holidays. Hope you get the chance to unwind somewhat. Oh, we appear to be starting the second race. I may have jumped the gun a little bit there, have I?
Yeah, just a little bit. That's all right, though.
All right, jump the gun by half an hour. No worries. I'll finish that off later on. Wasn't expecting the second race to be starting. I was expecting the second race to be starting as I got in at 10:15, to be honest. Best of luck to everyone on track under twilight conditions here at Silverstone, 11 o'clock in the evening in game time. Everyone parked up between Luffield and Woodcote as we speak. There's 3 minutes to go here. So, yeah, it's been another fantastic year's racing with RWB International. And I should add, we do have a special Wreckfest race meeting coming up. More details on the Discord server, which should be quite a laugh indeed. I think it's on Wednesday night, if I remember correctly. And if I start updating Wreckfest on Monday, I might actually be able to take part myself. What can possibly go wrong here? Dearie me. A quick rundown of the grid for you. It's Kai Banks on pole position in the number 34, ahead of Usman Kartzolia in the number 7. Second row of the grid, it's Nate Newcomer in the number 97 car, ahead of Mad Owl in the number 4. RWB Pinpoint is in 5th on the grid in the number 46, just ahead of Rick Binnersley in the 888 car. RWB Rigel is in 7th place in the number 72 car, ahead of Florentin in the number 82. Matt Hodgson is in the number 92 car, 9th on the grid, ahead of Rudolf Meyer in the 451. Excuse me. RWB Charger is in 11th place in the 83 entry, ahead of RWB Cos in car number 1, and Butler is in the 881 car, excuse me, in 13th place, just ahead of Marco Badowski in car number 45. That's the field for this Christmas Eve special here at Silverstone. I must say, Santa Claus has been rather generous indeed this year. The amount of BMW M4 GT3s he's been able to get from Munich to Silverstone for tonight's race. A cracking job indeed from Santa Claus. He's had a good one this year, and it's showing on the grid here tonight. In fact, there's more BMW M4 GT3s here, dare I say it, than actual chassis BMW have already produced so far in real life. The M4 GT3 having already done a couple of races so far as part of the development program for the car. Done the Sebring 24 Hours Krovantik race. It's done the, I think, 1 or 2 Nürburgring Langstrecken Series races for good measure as well. So the car has been raced. There's a few, and there's a couple entered for the Dubai 24 Hours, one of which being entered by Schubert Motorsport. Going to be very interesting to follow with Radio Le Mans. Currently see the cars all coming through Woodcote now, about to start the night race here at Silverstone. Waiting to cross the start finish line now, and the lights have gone green as the first 10 or 11 cars that actually crossed the line already, crossed the timing line, excuse me. Looks to be a clean run through the first corner so far. Cups corner, currently looking at RWB cars in 11th place as we just see a whole flotilla of BMW M4 GT3s coming through Maggots, Beckett's in towards Chapel right now for the second half an hour race here this evening. Coming onto the hangar straight now for the first time, it's Kai Banks in the lead from Usman Kartzolia, Nate Newcomer in third, RWB Pinpoint in fourth, RWB Rigel in fifth, Florentine sixth, Spinners lead seventh, Charger eighth, Hodgson ninth, Mary 10th. Badowski already made up 3 places there so far. RWB Cos we're currently looking at in 12th place, 4/10 of a second behind Marco Badowski. Cars all over. Oh, crikey, there's a couple of cars all over the place indeed. That's Rudolf Mayer. Unfortunately, one of the drivers involved in that is currently down in 14th place. He's just pulled over. There's Usma Kartzolia in second place at the moment in the 07 BMW. He's got Kai Banks just ahead of him and Nate Newcomer right behind him. Nate's looking very, very racy indeed tonight. Coming onto the Wellington straight now. Nate right on the back of Kartzolia's car there. Not quite able to get the job done at the end of the Wellington straight, but Kartzolia going quite wide indeed actually. And Nate not on the ideal line for Luffield, going the long way round indeed, and what is a very long corner as well. Kartzolia still in second place, and that might actually bring Nate back into the clutches of Pinners. RWB Pinpoint the Governor, who came up with the idea for tonight. Coming out of Cops at the end of the opening lap and into Maggots Beckett's Chapel again. And Nate has got past Kartzolia there. So Nate Newcomer in second, RWB. Nate Newcomer in second, sorry. Usman Kartzolia in third place and RWB Pinpoint the Governor in fourth. They're quite a close battle indeed between them. RWB Rigel's about 1.2 seconds behind in fifth place as we speak. Still looking at Usman Kartzolia in the number 7. Maybe getting a little warning for track limits there at Stowe. I don't know. It looked close to me. He is pushing very, very hard indeed in the BMW. The BMW, as a car to drive, I've been told, is almost like the Aston Martin V8 Vantage GT3 in a way, in that it's easy to get a time out of. So no doubt this is partially due to the fact that the BMW doesn't currently have a proper BOP, so to speak. The reason being it hasn't actually properly done a full GT World Challenge Europe race yet, but it does look like a very easy car to drive. I know I'm talking from a bit of a weird position here about this, as we see Pinner's running a little bit wide there, coming into this arena section. But the BMW looks as if, you know, it's bigger, bit bigger than the slightly bigger than the M6. Looks as if it was very stable in the wet actually during the Kyalami 9 hours earlier this month, and it just looks like a really stable, well-planted, well-engineered racing car in a way. So kudos to BMW for that. No doubt they've taken some of the lessons learnt with the M8 GTE program / GTLM program and implemented them here. Meanwhile, we're looking at RWB Cos versus Marco Badowski. It's Marco having to tuck in behind RWB Cos there. Excuse me, sorry, heading into Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. Oh, excuse me, sorry. No doubt Marco's going to might have a crack at Stowe. I don't know, is he too far behind? 0.27 seconds behind. He might be a little bit too far away. Coming on board with Marco Badowski at the moment, and in fact he has actually got the position around the outside of Stowe as I say that. And that, dear viewer, is why Marco is one of our driver coaches here at RWB International. Able to pull off moves like that. Currently looking at RWB Rigel in 5th place at the moment in the 72 entry. Quite close to Pinners just in front of him. Got Florentin just behind him as well for good measure. And coming in through Woodcut now is RWB Rigel. There's a yellow flag somewhere. Someone's gone off actually at the end of the Wellington Straight, I'd imagine, or maybe even on the inside of Woodcut. Not 100% sure, to be quite honest. Looking at the Dancing Ants screen. Now let's see what number it is. Ends in a 1, I think so. Oh, sorry, that's the 83. That's RWB Charger, who's had a little bit of an off there. My laptop kind of fell over slightly. Coming into club corner now. Just about make out the historic sports car layout of the corner there. Only used for the historic meetings really these days, like the Silverstone Classic, is definitely on one's bucket list. I mean, we're looking at Buca Florentin in the number 82 entry, currently in 6th place overall. He's got Rick Binnersley just with him there for company. Currently heading into the arena section. Rick right there with him. Florentin maybe with a slightly better exit than Rick. Remains to be seen. Yeah, maybe Florentin did get a slightly better exit there than Rick. Heading into the complex here now. Florentin going for a very tight line into Woodcut, which he does indeed hold. He keeps it very tight on the exit, and Rick is able to open the steering a little bit sooner, getting a little bit more momentum then. They're currently side by side coming down the pitch straight. And here's Rick. Rick gets him up the inside there into Kopp's corner. That is a very, very bold overtaking manoeuvre indeed from Rick Binnersley. RWB Cos is currently in the pits at the moment. For whatever reason, RWB Charger is currently 2 laps down, so I think he has had some kind of technical issue on his end, unfortunately. Currently looking at Rudolf Mare at the moment in 11th place in the 451 BMW M4 GT3. Or if I was going to go into full DTM commentary mode, MV GT3. Looking at the Rick Binesley in the Binesley's car. Now looking at Kai Banks in the lead in the 34. Viren 30 BMW MV GT3 as Usman Kartzolia comes into pits from third place and has just lost third place there to Pinners. And Rigel's moved to place Binesley, Florentin. I don't know if this is a technical issue on his end, but he appears to be dropping down the field at some rate. So I'll have a little look into that. Have a quick look on the Discord server as we speak. And we appear to have, and indeed we do have, RWB Charger in the commentary booth right now. Evening, how are we?
Dead.
Oh, shit, sorry to hear that.
Oh, it's funny. I was driving along, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Why am I looking at my car from the outside?" And my mouse cable, because it's draped over the keyboard, hit F3 and changed the car view. So I ended up going straight into the wall. 6 minutes damage.
Oh, I'm guessing that was at the end of the Wellington Straight as well.
It was.
Oh, God. Yeah, I was having a bit of a guess based on the track map as to what had happened. Guessing that it was either at the end of the Wellington Straight or somewhere on the inside of Woodcut. So, yeah, it's not ideal when that happens. To say the least.
Fun race. It was funner.
Yep, it is indeed a fun race. So much so, I somehow actually made it back in time for nearly half of the first race, which was some going for Christmas Eve down the village pub.
You must have sprinted back.
Yeah, I did run some of it in high tops, so not exactly kind of a Nike running trainers I usually have for park run, but yeah, it did make a bit of an effort to get back quickly. You currently see Kai Banks in the 34 car in the lead of the race. Got Nate Newcomer less than a second away from him as well, so this should be quite interesting indeed. I mean, well, you've been driving so far tonight, Charger. How's the visibility been at 11 o'clock at night in the dark and trying to get around Silverstone?
It's not too bad. I know Silverstone quite well, but yeah, I mean, it's completely different in the dark. I just don't drive well in the dark anyway. I don't drive well in the dark in real life, so it's not one of my favourite times to drive. But yeah, the problem was I didn't even know where I was when I hit the wall there. I couldn't get my bearings because it was pitch black and I had no lights. So yeah, good fun.
Yeah, it is a little bit interesting as well. And of course, had this been a year ago, we wouldn't have actually been able to have done this in real life because the track actually has a county border running through the middle of it, which meant that the national circuit was okay, the Stowe circuit was okay, and the international circuit using the F1 pits and the Hangar Straight wasn't, because it actually crossed the county border. So Yeah. Currently looking at Rick Binnersley in the 888 car heading down the Wellington Straight. Of course, this is actually one of the reasons why it was an absolute pain in the you-know-what for Kravontic to organise a 24-hour race here, as they had to get permission from 2 sets of local councils, Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, because the county border actually runs through the literally through the middle of the circuit. Oh, Rick Binnersley having a bit of a moment there, coming out of Luffield and into Woodcote. Properly big moment, in fact. And looking at RWB Rigel now in 4th place. Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I think Kravontic actually stopped hosting a 24 hours of Silverstone in real life, partially because of the fact that it was literally a bureaucratic nightmare. As Mad Al gets past Rick Binnersley there for 6th place. Excuse me. Cracking drive from Al so far. As Rick runs a little bit wide there at the Exeter Chapel. It's a massive thanks to Pinners himself, RWB Pinpoint and the Governor, for coming up with the idea of having a race for the M4 GT3 on Christmas Eve. It's worth noting that Kai Banks, a noted BMW M4 disliker, shall we say, is currently leading the race. Wonder if this is going to change his mind on that car. I don't know, to be honest. So looking at Kai now in the 34 as he heads in towards Luffield now. Does have Nate right with him, actually. We're only just over halfway through the race now. It's Kai Banks from Nate Newcomer, then RWB Pinpoint, RWB Rigel. Florentin is in 5th place, then Mad Al, Marco Badowski, Matt Hodgson, Rick Binnersley. Mara is rounding out the top 10, and Butler is in 11th place at the moment. See the lead battle here heading through Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. Well, I mean, I guess you've got a little bit more experience than those of us who can't run ACC on PC at the moment. Charger, how's the BMW to drive?
Oh, it's gorgeous. I can see why a lot of people are calling it OP. I'm not any quicker in it, but it's just more of an enjoyable drive. But yeah, I mean, some of these guys are saying it's definitely up there. It will get bopped eventually. I think that's a given.
Oh yeah, I mean, give it probably after the first race in real life in GT World Challenge Europe, and then we're getting a proper BOP on the M4. But I mean, as I said earlier, the M4 so far has done what? Maybe 2 Nürburgring Langstrecken Series races and the Kravontic 24 Hours of Sebring as part of the testing program. So and then we've got Dubai coming up in the first couple of weeks of January, so for the 24 Hours of Dubai. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of BOP gets slapped on the M4 by, okay, admittedly it's Kravontic, not the SRO, but it's still going to be a BOP on the M4, and no doubt knowing what Gary Willems and the rest of the team at Kravontic are like, there might be BOP changes between practice and qualifying in the race. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to follow along from a spectator's perspective. I know that Schubert Motorsport are running a car, and I think there's another team entering an M4 as well at Dubai. So yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how it unfolds. We're currently looking at Buka Florentine in the 82 car in 5th place, currently 3.6 seconds behind RWB Rigel and 5.2 seconds behind Mad Al. I'm going to nip off quickly for a quick break. I'll be right back in a sec. Terribly sorry about that. We're currently looking at Nate Newcomer in second place, just currently a few tenths behind Kai Banks in the race lead. Very, very strong drive indeed by Nate Newcomer at the moment. Nate, also one of our technical gurus who hosts the streams for us on his end in America. Nate, on behalf of myself and the rest of the commentary team, thank you so much for everything you've done for us. It is much appreciated by all of the commentary team, mate. Currently back on board with him. He's 8 tenths behind Kai Banks with just 8 minutes to go, just under 8 minutes to go here at Silverstone. Looking at RWB Pinners, Pinpoint, the governor himself in third place now. RWB Rigel in fourth place. Booker Florentin is in fifth place in the 82 car. Coming through Cops Corner now. Behind him, it's Mad Owl, then Marco Badowski, and now on board with Matt Hodgson. RWB Lumpy Hamster himself. Rick Binnersley is in ninth place ahead of Rudolph Maurer in 10th and Josh Butler in 11th place, rounding out the field here at Silverstone. I'm looking at the back of Kai Banks's car. Through Abbey now. When I was last at the FIA World Endurance Championship meeting at Silverstone back in 2018, which was my last time there. Currently, according to Racing Team Nederlands' Job van Altert, the P2 cars were actually going flat through Abbey, which is something I daren't think about. Obviously, Kai Banks in the lead, still being chased by Nate Newcomer, who's putting up a valiant fight indeed. Very good drive indeed from Nate at the moment to be keeping up with Kai. That is some going, to say the least, and Nate is doing a properly good job on his end. Just behind, well, a bit behind them, in fact, is Pinners. Now looking at RWB Rigel coming through Copse Corner now. Rigel only a couple of few attempts off his best lap so far in the M4. Coming through Maggots Beckett's in towards Chapel now. Worth noting that Nate actually currently holds the fastest lap of the race as well, for good measure. Coming in towards Stowe Corner now. Excuse me. Coming down the Vale and in towards Club. Now we're looking at Mad out in 6th place. He's got Marco Badowski right there with him for company. Marco not having a look up the inside at Club. Marco, a phenomenally quick driver indeed. No disrespect to Mad Al, who's also a damn sight faster than I am. Mad Al, in fact, almost pulling over just to let Marco through. Marco, one of the driver coaches here at RWB International for a reason, and he's already got past Mad out for 6th place and pulled quite the gap actually as well, for good measure. Already the gap at 1.1 seconds. Mad Al doing a very, very good job indeed so far, currently in P7 at the moment in the number 4 BMW M4 GT3. Coming through Luffield now in towards Woodcote. Coming in towards Copse Corner now. Through this Maggots Beckett's Chapel complex, which is absolutely phenomenal to drive. No matter whether you're in a GT car, a prototype, and high downforce open wheeler, it is quite the complex of corners. We're kind of looking at Kai Banks in the lead of the race, coming through Abbey now in towards the arena section here. Just after this left-hander is actually a point where it's quite easy, where the barriers are quite low down. There's no hoardings in the way for hobby photographers to get very good panning shots indeed of the cars as they come onto through the complex and on towards the Wellington Straight. Kai Banks currently heading towards Luffield now. I'm just having a little look at what's left on the race clock. I think there might be one more lap after this one. We're looking at Rick Binnersley in 10th place. Coming through Maggots Beckett's Chapel himself. Banks has just crossed the finish line, so has Nate Newcomer, with 2 minutes and 5 seconds left on the clock. They're currently doing about 2 minutes flat, just under 2 minutes, maybe even to the 1:59. So there's definitely going to be another 2 laps here, unless they both really slow down, which I doubt it, to be quite honest, as Butler runs a tiny bit wide there through Copse. But no disrespect to Josh, it's an incredibly easy thing to do, to think you can just take, I think you're taking enough speed into Copse and then realise you just pushing a little bit there at the front end. So no doubt it's an incredibly easy thing to do. So I'm looking at Marco Badowski, who's got Florentin right in front of him, in fact right alongside him coming down the hangar straight. Is Marco going to be able to get the position? In fact, Marco has indeed just got the position by 9 thousandths of a second, but Florentin has the inside for Stowe Corner. Florentin manages to retake the position there at Stowe Corner. Marco Badowski is back down into 6th place. Florentin up and remains in 5th place. Currently looking at Marco Badowski as they pair of them come through Club. Marco on the inside there through Club. Keeps it tight and gets the position. Is Florentin going to be able to get enough of a slipstream there? Heading down past the F1 pits in towards Abbey. No, he is not. So Marco Badowski remains in 5th place. They head up into the arena section. Is Florentin going to be able to have a little look up the inside? No, he is not. Marco closes the door there and keeps it tight for the second part of the complex. So Marco Badowski is now up into 5th place, just ahead of Florentin. In fact, the gap, according to timing, is currently at 0.607 seconds. So Marco just getting the position there. Meanwhile, the leaders have already come out of Copse Corner, heading towards Maggots Beckett's Chapel. So there will be one more lap to go here at Silverstone. Currently watching Marco Badowski coming out of Luffield in towards Woodcote now. Marco taking a very nice tight line there through the corner. Currently in 5th place. I did a 2-minute flat last time, 2:04.15. I don't know, to be honest, what RWB Rigel did just in front of him, but I don't know if this is going to be enough. Currently looking at Kai Banks now coming through Club Corner. Of course, the second apex there, which they modified back when they rebuilt the circuit in 2010, between 2009 and 2010, coming through Abbey now. And in towards the arena section here. Very slow section of track, relatively speaking, compared to the rest of Silverstone. Now looking at Booker Florentin in the 82 car. He's got Mad out just behind him there, coming past the F1 pits, the wing building there. Now looking at Rudolf Mayer in the 451 BMW, coming through Copse Corner now. Meanwhile, in the battle for the lead, they're just coming out of Luffield as we speak. There's hardly anything between them. I think Kai Banks still has it. And as they cross the line, it's Kai Banks from Nate Newcomer by 0.6 of a second. And Pinners is going to come through third. In fact, Florentin has just got a drive-through penalty at just about the worst timing you could imagine, as RWB Pinpoint, the governor, comes home round about, not quite now in fact, to take 3rd place. Florentin, I don't know if he's going to be able to serve his drive-through penalty or not. RWB Rigel has come home in 4th place. Marco Badowski has dropped down the field to 7th. So Florentin has come in 5th place despite a 30-second time penalty to be added to his time. Mad Owl is in 6th place. Marco Badowski in 7th. Provisionally, one should add. I am expecting this to change somewhat. Josh Butler has crossed the line in 10th place. Overall, Matt Hodgson has crossed the line in 8th, and Rudolf Mayer is going to come home in 9th place. So looking at that, in fact, Mayer is currently on the Wellington Straight as we speak. So Florentin should come home in just in front of Mayer, so in 9th place. Overall, another fantastic evening's racing here at Silverstone. Got the, like I said earlier, we've got the RWB Constructors Championship restarting in January on the 4th. The drivers having to cope with the demands of the GT3 cars this time instead of the GT4 cars. And all that remains for me to say is that on behalf of everyone at RWB International, I'd like to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a happy, healthy and prosperous New Year. And for the viewers, listeners, drivers who don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a happy holidays, have some time to chill out, spend time with family, and I hope you all have a lovely time. Hope everyone has the best time with their loved ones and you'll get to spend some quality time together. From me, it's Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and as always, it's bye for now.